मैं कारीगर आदमी चीज़ें बना दूँ, उस चीज़ों को उड़ा भी देता हूँ.
My mom is waiting for me downstairs on the bus stop and she wants me to appear for this interview, so here I am. Garima Babbar. I had education and field development, projects, program, advocacy, and I work for Adobe. The best part about my job is education is my passion. And here I'm in this profession that needs my passion. Therefore, I'm really excited to meet you all today and really look forward to interacting with you while Ravi sir is going to ask me a lot of questions.
I'm quite scared, okay. I think these guys should ask. Look, everyone understands Hindi. You understand Hindi, right? मैं कारीगर आदमी हूँ, चीज़ें बना दूँ, उस चीज़ों को उड़ा भी देता हूँ. So I make a lot of aircrafts and engines, etc. And I fly them also. That's what I do. In the action. So Garima, I think this should be an AMA between you and them. I'll just help to navigate that. We just had a design discussion and all. But before we go to you're part of one of the foremost companies in the world, which actually define trends and define design per se, frankly, creativity overall, and how to realize that particular creativity. Look at this very, very young audience, and almost all of them want to do something in design if they don't want to become a designer. If you can just give a preview of your own journey and how many think Adobe likes to think about future of creativity, and with respect to India, where do you see India and Indian students playing a role in the current growth which this country is facing? I think that would be. And you can interrupt her anytime.
Yeah.
Ask her anything, except the defense guy over there. You can ask me anything. Okay.
Thank you, Ravi, for asking such an elaborate question. So, actually, मैं भी सोच रही हूँ, how did my journey begin? Of course, I know the organizations where I worked, how I worked, but what I want to share with you, why I worked for organizations and what am I doing now, so that will help you also broaden your perspective in the choices that you make and the informed decisions that you take in your life. So I remember that I was a fresh graduate out of college, and my mother didn't want me to sit at home because she knew that, I didn't just go out with my friends. I want to have more pocket money. And she was scared. And she said, all right, she has to get a job. And in those days, jobs, there was no social media, and jobs would actually be advertised in newspapers. So in the morning, she would sit with a cup of tea in the garden, open the newspaper, and circle jobs for me. Which was, honestly, as a daughter, I was very irritated with that what is my mom doing early morning? But believe you me, that worked for me, and this is where I am, all because of that newspaper hunting that she did for me. She sent me for an interview to an institute called the British School of Language, and in those days, that was one English language institute which was very popular within Delhi and NCR. She just sent me there. In fact, she didn't send me. She just dropped me there. You have to go inside and you have to do this. I said, all right, if that makes her happy, let me do that. I didn't know that I will come back to the job. And the person who was interviewing me, she asked me, when did you finish your graduation? I said, I don't even know whether I'm a graduate or not, but I finished my exams 2 days back. My mom is waiting for me downstairs on the bus stop, and she wants me to appear for this interview, so here I am. Fortunately, my English was good because I was an English graduate. And, I came back. and I had a job in hand. It was that simple. But, this is not all. That was my first landing in the corporate world. And nobody asked me how much salary you were earning. My mom was happy that I've got a job. And that is what led me to where I am today, that honed my skills, my communication skills, my team building skills. Of course, I failed and I got very irritated at multiple times. My boss is asking me to do this, or I have to take so many sessions. But that was the starting point of my getting into education. I started teaching over there. Morning 6:30, I used to go and start my classes, and 1:30, 2 o'clock, come back home. That is how I continued. And then very soon, I grew, my interest developed in business. And they promoted me to the head of content first. And very soon, I was taking care of the entire business for their Delhi NCR branches. I think I almost had about 10, training institutes, managers reporting to me, and I was handling the entire business. That was the starting point. So if my mom had not pushed me, I don't think I reached that stage. And then, of course, I took a break in between because I wanted to take care of my son. And then I joined TCS, then Microsoft. In between, had a small stint with KPMG. And then I took the decision to join National Skill Development Corporation. That was a big switch that I had to make up my mind. I had to decide that from a flashy lifestyle, in Microsoft, in KPMG, where the business suits, here I am working with the government. But I'm glad I took that decision. So that was again a switch from training to business, continued with business, and then again getting back into policies and skills of government for which I had no idea of what I'm getting into. But I took that plunge. And that helped me. And then finally, for the last 8 years, I'm working with an organization, Adobe, where I get to meet wonderful students like you. I get to talk about their creative aspiration in life, and that's where I am. So last 22 years have been quite fruitful, I would say. But I've really talked about the best piece of my life. There have been ups and downs, there have been failures, there have been learnings, which is definitely a part of everybody's professional career. Actually, I don't need designers. I need budding designers like students.
Very good. So you tell them what do you think.
One of the things that I totally believe in, I'm going to wear the Adobe hat and talk. It is all about creativity. Whether you want to be a designer or even in my profession, where I'm handling education business, I also have to be creative. Creative in giving presentations to my seniors, creative while addressing students like you. So creativity, I think it's the foundational skill that all of us need to have, irrespective of the profession that you choose. And I'm sure, Ravi, you also agree to it. In your profession also, you have to be creative. It's not just about presentations, but it is also about your ideas, your thoughts, how innovative you can be in every sphere of your life. And India is a land for that. But of course, at the same time, there's always a strong advocacy for to use genuine software, right? Why? Because you get the best of features. You get the latest, artificial intelligence, that's embedded into the products now. So this is a short answer to your long question is, when they moved away, there was a time about, a couple of years back, almost 20 years back, when Adobe products used to be sold in boxes. Probably, you were not even born at that point of time. They were like CDs or Photoshop. But then suddenly there was a switch that Adobe decided to make from boxes to cloud. And that was a very big transformation that happened over the years. So maybe you can take this up as a project. And I would like one of the students to come back with their creative ideas that what should be the next step for Adobe to help everybody use genuine products. That would help not just Adobe, but of course, other software organizations as well. Because when there's so much of investment that goes, so much of R&D that goes in creating those products, it's important that you use the genuine features of that also to the best of your benefit. I want to ask you one question. How many of you have used Creative Cloud? 3, 4, 5. Okay. Do you know what is Adobe Express? Students of DPS Indrapuram. Students of DNF Public School. जो मुझे schools याद हैं जो हमारे साथ कर रहे हैं काम, I can talk about that. Others, do you know what is Adobe Express? No, or you have used it also? Used it, great. So those are some of the genuine products which are available. I will talk from an education lens. They are available. Adobe Express is available at no cost for all students if you are in school. But the licenses will have to be given from schools. And along with that, we also conduct a lot of programs. This is one of the initiatives that we do to make sure students get access to our genuine products. They're able to utilize it to the best of their benefits. And Creative Cloud, I really don't know what is but we have an educational pricing for that. And where it is almost at 500 rupees per year for if you are a school student. So those are initiatives that organizations like us are doing to make sure students use these products and all the latest features are available. So go ahead, use it. And Express is available. Try Express, and I want your feedback on that. Skills is a very vast area. So of course, there's an organization called National Skill Development Corporation under the Ministry of Skills and Entrepreneurship. But I think skills is now a part of any university, any school. What you are doing right now, your summer school, that is also a skill development program, right? So those are skill development initiatives that exist in the ecosystem. In fact, we were having a very interesting conversation also downstairs that why don't we have foundational skills which are available for students of grade 9 to grade 12. If you look at CBSE curriculum, there is a course that is given which is mandatory to all the students. And then going forward, there are progressive levels within universities and skills are given as elective courses as well. There are multiple sectors in which these courses are available and some of them are even free as well. Like if you look at NASCOM Future Skills Pride, there are a whole lot of courses which are available for students, for professionals. You should definitely explore that. There is a particular course that Adobe has uploaded there on UI UX experience design. Absolutely no cost for that. So courses are plenty, I would say, depending on your aspiration, and no amount of learning was waste. So maybe build your skills on that all right, this year I want to do these 2 courses, and then work on that, practice it, and then next year add 2 more in your kitty. So that is how you can actually add more skills, more courses, and with an impressive resume as well when you enter the job market. Okay, difficult question because I'm not from HR, but I can give you just my advice as I look at this entire scenario of you should have the right attitude, right? That is important. And of course, knowledge and skills. These are the 3 important ingredients to get a job. But at the same time, even if, today, if you have to reach, like when I started my career, I started with a small training institution, and slowly and gradually, I started applying and I built my career. I wish, and of course, it was my dream at that point of time to work for Adobe. But then I had to take those small steps to reach my larger goal. So maybe work on that and wish you all the best in life.
Look, I'm 48 years old, okay? Things change. Things have changed a lot. I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm telling you, you pick and choose. When I was 14 years old, I knew that I have to become an engineer. Okay? So I broke my refrigerator when I was 12 years old, and my father kicked me really, really bad in a sense that, because I was trying to figure out what the compressor is. My still, you may not know this, my still biggest check, which I have got in my life till now, I'm 48 years, when I was still studying in 1996, I wrote a cross-compiler, sold it to Bill Gates, Microsoft. So, and then I wrote another, I built another product. I wrote an encoder for MPEG-3. So I don't know, they were not born in that generation, but MPEG-3, there used to be a company known as Sony Corporation, and they were the large media and the very, very large company. And their everything which was related to music and the format of music was MPEG-3. So I was the encoder. So every time somebody will listen to music, a portion of money will come to me. And then I wrote an ERP, GemSlow, which stand, and ultimately you have to sell it to IBM. So maybe I had these kind of traits of building things and people liked it. But look, nothing special. I come from a middle class army family. In my village, there are only two kinds of people. Either you become a farmer or you become a defense person. Usually people go to defense forces and then they come back. And I was a black sheep in the family. And I remember becoming an engineer. I loved building things, and I still haven't stopped building things. I've got 38 patents, 17 of that, and get me royalty. That means 38 of those patents, 17 are products, and I've sold those products and their intellectual property to other companies, and they're building things ranging from ventilators to robots, and each time they send it to someone, money comes to me. How it just happened. It is no big deal. No big deal. The people, the most remarkable people, have done the things, outside the framework of universities or education. If your question would have been, what I learned within the framework of Harvard, then I can give you a straight answer, okay? And that's freedom to express. I think that is still not there in Indian education system wholeheartedly. It was definitely not there when I was studying. And Harvard, I can do anything. I can study anything. I can meet any prof. I can go to any lab. Like anything. I'm still figuring out. That was a discussion in the morning. I never thought that I will become a designer or I will become designer. Means like this big shot guy. I just loved making things. Okay. And Vistara, I did almost everything. I was one of the founders of the airline. So I did everything because look, I wanted to be part of the journey where you build an airline from zero and you take it to $1 billion. Once I became $1 billion, I left Vistara. Yeah, not really. Look, I'm kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of person. I don't think too much. I never thought that I will be this designer. Have I designed things? Yes, I have designed things. Where do I get inspiration from this thing? That has changed. First was very, very simple, passionate. I was just passionate about that one thing which I want to build. I didn't care about the market. I didn't care about the purpose. I didn't care about the experiment. It was a little, chalo, banate. This machine doesn't make sense, so let me just build some other machine. Then it graduated to problem solving. Hey, there is a problem and I need to solve this particular problem. Kisi ne solve nahi kiya problem, chalo solve karte hain problem. And then the third one happened, look, I have no purpose. Now I'm old, I'm 48 years old, you guys have to create. So now I work with entrepreneurs who are way more smarter than me. And I learn from that. So I'm not building that many things just because I'm not as smart as I used to be. But I work with very, very smart people who are building things. For example, I work with folks who are trying to build world's first hydrogen propulsion engine. I work with an entrepreneur who has built world's first heuristic robot. I work with entrepreneurs who have designed world's first space situational awareness satellite constellation. So I work with very, very smart guys. But I've never thought that I would be this designer. First, it's a great question. I think if you have an idea and if you think that idea can be realized and it's very unique, first of all, you have to, and as you rightly said, I'll explain in a very simple way. First, you have to figure out whether it's really a unique idea. Okay? And you go to a lot of firms who do that, schools also do that, universities also do that. So you basically go and you basically say that this is my idea. They will give you a particular format of an application which needs to be filled, or they can fill on your behalf. First step is that, is the idea unique? Okay. Once they establish this particular fact that this idea is unique, then the second aspect comes, is this idea unique within a particular geography or universally? Okay. That is the second. Then the third part comes, is this idea even patentable? Okay. And, does it even make sense to patent in this particular idea? Okay. Once you establish, then the fourth one, that what kind of patent it is. Is it an applied science patent? Is it an applied engineering patent? Is it a design patent? So on and so forth. It's a process patent. Once you have done that, then there's a series of process which is mostly legal in nature. So you don't do it yourself. You give an agency who does it for you, where it formalizes you and you have to pay some fees of it in the end that particular patent. But your journey doesn't stops over there. You can keep that patent, you can be very, very happy, you can showcase to your friend. But you really make money out of that particular patent, that either you build a company over it. That means you create a product line and you sell a lot of those products. And if you don't want to do that, for example, I always want to do multiple things in my life, then basically grant that particular patent and you get royalty out of it. So every time somebody manufactures that and sells it, you get a royalty. बहुत सारे हैं, which one? Any ethical or? बहुत सारे हैं, वोटर बनाइए, मतलब मैं छोटे-छोटे काम करते रहे, Yeah, okay. Instead of me, I will explain one which I'm very, very proud of, दो मैंने नहीं बनाया. Okay, अपने हम ज़्यादा बोलेंगे तो अपने मियाँ मिट्ठू वाली बात है ना यार. Why should I base? You can go to my link. You can actually Google me. Reasonably popular. Okay. If you Google me right. Okay. And reasonably popular, पता चल जाएगा. But एक कंपनी है जिसका नाम है चरा मोटर्स. चरा मोटर्स नाम सुना है, वही कंपनी है. Indian Institute of Science and Engineering. CHARA. Chara in Sanskrit means motion. Okay. They have created a motor which is world's foremost motor, which is rare earth free. That means वो जो हम मैग्नेट से लेकर के जो बाकी पीरियोडिक टेबल के मटेरियल्स हम बाहर से लाते हैं, उन सबको लाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. तो चाइना से हमें कोई मटेरियल लाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, चिले से कोई मटेरियल लाने की. इंडिजीनियस उन्होंने इंडिया में क्रिएट किया है फ्रॉम 0.6 किलोवाट से लेकर के टू 40 किलोवाट. दैट मीन्स आपका जो मिक्सर ग्राइंडर भी उससे चल सकता है, टू एन एयरक्राफ्ट इंजन. ओके. नाउ their clients are टाटा मोटर्स जो है इंडिया में एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रही है. वो फिल्म की नई स्टार्स रहेगी. तो जितनी कार्स चलेंगी, ओके, बिकेंगे नहीं, जितनी कार्स चलेंगी और जितनी बार साइकिल ऑफ रोटेशन डॉट होगा उस मोटर में, उतनी बार उसको पैसे मिलेंगे. और उसका एक और दूसरा एग्जाम्पल है टेस्ला, जिन्होंने उसकी मोटर की रॉयल्टी ही खरीद ली है. तो जितनी बार वो कार बिकेगी उतना उनको उतनी बार पैसा मिलेगा. सो एक ही मोटर है, ये करते हैं. चरा मोटर्स we can verify that.
So you can see the design. It is on your collection over and
Yeah, it is a switch reluctance motor. It's a switch reluctance motor. It is world's first switch reluctance motor, which is rare earth.
how the design.
Yeah. Third type is used to be the leader. It's an American company, engineers coming from Caltech, which is a By the way, if anyone is interested in design or something like that, that's Harvard now. Caltech is another great school, okay, more than Harvard. And but thank you.
I really don't know how to guide you. Think of multiple options. If you talk about, anything in design, of course, there are multiple fields that you can choose from. But first ask yourself, why communication design? What interests you? So even if I tell you something, that all right, this is great, you should go for it, but first you need to be convinced that yes, these are the two areas and these are maybe, two, successful leaders that are coming to my mind who have worked in this field.
Look, there are a lot of pseudo expertise in communication design, but one of the things which works or which differentiates a very, very successful communication strategy and the designer of that particular strategy is how closely they are to the reality of the ecosystem which they want to create. For example, if you're setting up an airline, you can do very fancy frameworks about communication and strategy and design, etc., etc. But dude, if you don't experience the counter, and you don't understand what a person sitting on this side of the counter and the customer on the other side of the counter, what they feel, or if you don't understand what it takes for a pilot to sit in the cockpit and fly this particular aircraft with the sense that, look, there are so many people and their lives are in their hand, or if you don't understand the constraints of a cabin crew who basically serves so many passengers and she has to ensure that all the passengers are served within that particular time, and so on and so forth, all your communication strategy goes for a toss. So that's the gap which I see. So I'm nobody to give you, any advice per se, but anyone who is able to fill that particular gap, which is the reality of an ecosystem, and how do you service that or serve that particular ecosystem with a very, very potent communication strategy. Those are the winners.
I'll just quickly add, something that just came to my mind. Also think about it. When you talk about communication design, whether you want to go into external communications, and there are a lot of organizations, like we have a very big team handling internal, employee comms as a part of that. But when you come to, as Ravi has rightly put, you need to understand so that you have the right kind of imagery, videos, even with the sentences that you write, with the right vocabulary, so that it's not very lengthy. But even a small post can just grab your attention and get you the required results that you're looking at.
Okay, that's the biggest mistake which every designer does, which is assumption. Okay, I haven't worked with many designers. I have no clue what their design is. Okay, I mean, frankly, I don't care. Okay, I really don't care. In the end, there are only two P's. You choose one of them, or you choose both of them. If you're lucky enough, you choose both of them. One is a purpose, other is a problem. If your problem is equivalent to your purpose, then you can make it really big. Really big. If you solve a problem, you create a cult for yourself. I don't know whether you can make it big or not. Now, do you want to call the person who solves it, or multiple team, or call up designers, something like that? Go ahead and do that. I consider design as a skill. Okay, I just consider it as a skill. Some people can make that skill as a craft. Okay. Some people can take that craft and convert that into an industry. Some people can convert that particular industry into institutions. Some people can convert institutions into a country. There's only one country which has done that, which is Singapore. There's no other country which is able to convert the institutional impact into a country. So you need to listen to your professors and teachers and all, but I will strongly urge, you're so young, okay, don't silo yourself in designations or in words, okay? Just don't do that. As folks over there said that, they're pretty open, they don't, they will explore the world, I would, if I'm not very clear, I would rather explore the world than get fascinated by words like designer, and hence I will do that. So what does your core say? What does your heart say? This is the time, this is the age also. Look, as I said, I'm 48. You have this humongous luxury today to listen to your heart. Trust me, 2 decades after where you are, you'll be listening more to your brain than to your heart. That's
But stay
Quality of
courageous.
nature.
Don't let anything in your life pull you down. Even if you fall 10 times, get up the 11th time and be strong. And strong doesn't mean just, physical strong, mentally strong and strong within. That is important. And even if you want to ask any silly question or if you have certain ideas, never refrain yourself from asking that. And that is very important. In my team, I give brownie points to somebody who asks me a question without any hesitation. And I think that is something that you all, and I'm sure you do that in school. But as you grow older, as you get into the corporate life, maybe somewhere down the line, we all start feeling, hey, is this the right question to ask? Or is this the right thing to do? Unless and until you do it, you won't even get to know whether this was right or wrong. So go for it. Attempt it.
So books are written, so I'm just addressed. Do you think he's a designer? Do you think the person behind the camera looking at his phone is he a designer? They just designed the whole setup. He exactly knows where to angle the camera, what to do. After that, they will actually take the raw footage and they will design the communication. Somebody said communication, right? He will make sure that the way they convert this into multiple these things. So is he a designer? You ask him, he will never say that he's a designer. So what I'm trying to say is that don't get fascinated by books. Books are also written by authors based upon their experience. You read those books, consider them as stories. If there is learning which is coming, learn from that. Don't consider that postulates for your life. At least that is my mantra. I have nobody to, and as I said, that's not the way. Do it every time and every moment. I'm an engineer, okay? When I look at the, while I'm proud at my body of work, okay? Self-realization is always there, but I forget about that self-realization. I'm a culprit. I'm a slave of my own creation, if you want to say that. Oh man, yeah, I think that all the time. I worry about climate all the time and kind of things. Most things which, as engineers, which we have created, okay? If we wouldn't have created it, half of the problems when you solve it, then, in the head, you deal with that. If you want to go far deeper, is applied science and applied engineering a progression of a society and civilization? I really don't know. Do I grapple with that aspect? Of course I grapple with that aspect. I don't have a straight answer. I just grapple with that aspect. Almost everything, we had coal, then we had fossil fuels, and then we are talking about electric. How will you recycle the lithium? Where do you recycle lithium? Now hydrogen is going to come. Hydrogen, is it safe? Is there an environmental impact? I don't know. Do I imagine that, look, when people, my forefathers, my great-grandfather, how they used to live in villages, is that a better way? Well, that's a romantic idea. But if you look at the mortality rate during that time, when the mortality rate now is lesser. So there's no straight answer. I can give you a very, very beautiful romantic answer, almost like a poet. But that's not. I accept that I'm a state of confusion, and I grapple with that aspect every day. Every so-called pseudo-progressive step which any of my machines or my fraternity has made for so-called one step ahead in the civilization, will it create, has it created potential problems? Of course, yes. And I can go on and on. Data centers, cloud, kind of electricity which they want, and kind of this thing. Have they solved the problem? Then they have solved the problem. Have they created many problems? Of course they have created. So I grapple with that. We asked you also, same way.
I'm good with what he has shared, nothing to add. But in conclusion, as we wrap up today's session, I just had 2 points which I wanted to make to you today. Number 1, master the art of storytelling. You're getting into a phase where you have to talk about yourself to multiple people. So the way you articulate your stories, that actually answers your question about jobs, about people to get to know you better. And it's not always about marks. It's about you as a person, who you are. Number 2, stay confident because you are awesome. And number 3, don't be afraid of failures. When we get into a gym or when we start doing something difficult, maybe exercising, because I've started exercising now after many years, and I find it difficult, right? Your muscles become sore, it becomes difficult, but each day as you challenge yourself, you become fitter, you become better, and of course, you start enjoying life as well. So never be afraid of failures and challenges in life, because that is a stepping stone towards success. And thank you so much. Wish you all the very best in life. And it was such a pleasure to interact with all of you.